tried every celebrity brand of tequila out there and ranked them from the worst to the, well, least worst. And I didn't do this to punish myself. I actually did this to try and answer the question of, are there any celebrity tequilas that are actually worth buying? So how is this ranking going to work? I created 3 separate categories that we're gonna classify these into. Number 1, literal garbage water. Category number 2 is very meh. And the last category, which I suspect there will be very few of, is acceptable, or at least decent. And after trying all these tequilas, I try to answer the question, are there any of these that I would actually personally recommend? Right, let's hop right into it. So the first brand that we're gonna talk about today is Fletchul. This is Mark Wahlberg's tequila, and he's been making a lot of noise on social media talking about his brand. In particular, he said these things.
It is official. This is voted #1 sipping tequila in the world.
And I was voted sexiest man alive. Just because we say things on the internet doesn't make it true. This bottle comes around about $45, $50. Sometimes you can find it for around $60. So not the most expensive tequila out there, but certainly not the cheapest. But all right, let's taste it and see what this tastes like. So on the nose, you don't get a lot of that agave smell. It smells a little sweet. It doesn't have that great agave flavor that a tequila should. It tastes a lot like a barrel. There seems to be just like a slight added sweetness. It doesn't taste wholly natural to me personally. I'd suspect that there are some additives being used in this product. I don't think it's as overtly sugar-fied or additive filled as some of the other products that we're gonna talk about in just a little bit, but I'm sorry, man. You can't just claim that your tequila is additive free. There are people out there doing a confirmation process and doing this. If you're telling me that Fletchul is additive free, Mark Wahlberg, get in touch with Tequila Matchmaker and have them test your tequila, because at this point, it's just your word versus the internet. And it's when you're that famous and you have that many followers, you can kind of say whatever you want and people will just kind of believe you. And that's unfortunate. And so which category is this one falling into? We're just gonna put it into the very meh category. It's not the worst tequila I've ever tasted in my life. It's certainly not the best. It's very far from it. And yeah, it's just very meh. Moving on to another brand that just gets talked about all the time on social media by the person who founded it, Gran Coramino, which is owned by Kevin Hart. A couple of things stand out about Gran Coramino. It is not a cheap tequila. This bottle cost me around $60-ish, $70. Kevin Hart has basically come out and said that he doesn't drink at all. And so the fact that he's getting involved with tequila is kind of a red flag of like, why are you involved in something that you don't partake in? Are you a big champion of Mexican heritage, or are you just trying to make money? But what about what's in the actual bottle? Well, this, even though it may look like a Blanco, is technically not a Blanco. It is a Reposado Cristalino, meaning that this was aged and then filtered to remove all of the good bits out so that it looks like a Blanco tequila. It's basically like you have this product that takes like 6-7 years to grow to then make the tequila, and then you're gonna age it in a barrel for like 2 years just to then get rid out of all of the best stuff so that it's smooth and just tastes like a vodka? Why would you do that? Why are you getting rid of all of the best parts about it? Right off the bat, you get right on the nose that very heavy ethanol alcoholic flavor, and this very sweet smell as well. That is putrid. Everything about that is not good. The mouthfeel, the flavor, it's so sweet. It's almost like cotton candy, like, or candy, but not in a good way. It's like overly sugar-fied, and that's awful. It says on the bottle that it's aged in Californian Cabernet casks, and you don't taste any of that. So it's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you talking about? It's aged in Cabernet casks. Like, you filtered all the good stuff out, so why are you telling people what it's aged in? It makes no sense. Anyway, literal garbage water. It's just don't. Look, it's not a dig at Kevin Hart. I think he's funny. I like the guy. But just, why are you in the tequila game, man? It just doesn't make sense. Go buy something else. Next up is Lobos 1707 from Lebron James. This bottle, when I bought it, was around $50 to $60. On the face, I'll be perfectly honest with you, this does not look or remind me of a tequila bottle at all. It reminds me of a Pine Sol bottle. Right off the bat, on the nose, it smells a little sweet, seems a little artificial, but let's dive right in with enthusiasm. Alright, compose yourself. Okay. It is a reposado that I have here, or something like that, and it just tastes fake in all senses of the word. You don't really get much of an agave flavor. You just get this cotton candy, sugar-fied, sweet flavored thing that is smooth, but it's not good. It makes me shudder, and it's not good at all. Another one to add to the literal garbage water. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. Next up, I want to talk about Codigo 1530. Codigo is a brand that was founded or started by George Strait, the country music legend and star. I have three different expressions here. We have the Blanco, we have their Reposado, and we also have the Codigo Rosa Blanco, which is rested in a Cabernet cask for 1 month, so it gives it a little bit of a pink tint to it. With celebrity spirits, I like to try the Reposado because that's usually where most of the, if there are any additives, they'll be in the Reposado. So we're gonna try the Reposado here. So right off the bat, you get a lot, that agave nose is very present. I can definitely smell that roasted agave flavor coming off of it. That's actually not bad. That's decent. It doesn't taste fake, it doesn't taste additive filled, but let's try the Blanco as well, just to be thorough. Very clean, it's decent. It's actually not bad. So now that I've tasted and shown it to you, let's be upfront. The only critique I actually have of Codigo is their price. I find that for what they are, it's a little bit expensive. Their bottles range from like $60 to $80. Sometimes you find it for a little bit cheaper, and I guess that's kind of in range with other celebrities tequilas, but there are other non-celebrity tequilas that come in cheaper that I would buy before this one. But in terms of what's actually in the bottles, I can't knock it. It's actually pretty good. And you know what? There is an expression of theirs that I will come out and say that I actually thoroughly enjoy, and that is their still strength. I'm a sucker for a good still strength tequila. Still strength just means that this is the ABV that the tequila was distilled at, and they didn't cut it with any water. A lot of tequila gets cut and brought down to about 40%. This is what came straight off the still, so you're gonna get the most raw flavor from it. So let's get this one close up. Ooh, right on that nose, that agave is even stronger because it's a higher percentage tequila. God, I love a good still strength. It's got good spice notes to it, and it's a very thoroughly enjoyable tequila. I could enjoy sipping this one. I'd put this in a cocktail in a heartbeat, and Codigo is one. It's gonna be the first one that we're gonna put into our decent, if not good, label of celebrity tequila. Who knew? Louis actually does enjoy maybe one celebrity tequila. Let's see if I enjoy any other ones. Let's move on to the next one. Moving on, let's talk about Teremana tequila, owned by The Rock. Teremana is not the world's most expensive tequila. I believe you can find the Reposado for about $36 to $45. This is a brand that was founded by The Rock just a couple of years ago, and they've exploded in popularity. And news came out earlier this year that they broke 1 million cases sold in 1 year. And that sounds great, right? Oh my gosh, it's selling so well. The Rock talks about it all the time. Love The Rock. He's so funny. He's so great. But it must be such an amazing tequila, right? Well, hold your horses there. Let's hold on there. On the nose, I don't love that smell. There is some agave, but it just doesn't. Oh God. Oh God. So it doesn't. You get some of that agave flavor. You get a lot of alcohol, and you get this really not great, sweet, just not right flavor. It just tastes very artificial. It doesn't have many spice notes. It's not enjoyable to sip on. It's just overly sugar-fied, like a lot of these. And this is where I get frustrated with this brand, because The Rock has done such a good job of marketing this product. Clearly, if they're selling 1 million cases in a 12-month period, that it's convinced people that this is a great tequila, which is the same thing that Casamigos did before it, and that's unfortunate. I've argued with people on social media about whether or not this has additives, and some people will swear that it doesn't. They're like, no, I know the people who run it, whatever, I know it doesn't have additives. Well, all I'm gonna say is two things. One, it says small batch right on the bottle, and I don't know about your understanding of English, but in my understanding of the English language, I understand I'm foreign, but from my understanding is that small batch means that it's produced in small quantities so that you can kind of control the quality, right? I don't know about you, but selling 1 million cases in a year, there's no way that that's a small batch tequila. There's nothing small about that. And the other aspect of this is if these people are so adamant that there are no additives in this, why not get in touch with Tequila Matchmaker? Why not have them go and study your process. See if they can confirm that you're additive free. It's not a bad thing to have that label. What I'm saying is, go and get it confirmed additive free. If you believe it in that much, do that. But I don't believe it. This doesn't, like, it's unaltered. It just doesn't. So where do I rank this? I rank this in garbage water. Don't spend your money. I don't care how much you like The Rock. We all like The Rock. He's funny. He was part of my childhood. He was so much. The WWE when I was a kid, I loved him. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna buy his tequila. All right, next up is Insolito. Insolito is a brand that is relatively new to the market over the last couple of years, and it is a celebrity-backed brand from the band Midland. They are from Nome 1558, and they are confirmed additive-free by Tequila Matchmaker. So first off, in terms of the branding, I actually kind of love these bottles. They stand out to me. They look different. They are not your typical tequila bottles. The fact that there's this opaque kind of color at the top and it's clear at the bottom so you can see what's in there. They do make an añejo, and I did have a bottle of it, but it fell off of the top of my shelf and broke, unfortunately. So I can only really talk about the Blanco and the Reposado today, as that's what I have in front of me. So let's start off with the Blanco, and then we'll move on to the Reposado and talk about it. Great agave flavor, and you get this really awesome spice level that, and I don't mean spice in like spicy, but like spices level that really kind of carries through this tequila. It coats your mouth beautifully, and it really makes you want to keep sipping more. It is a really, really tasty Blanco. I can see it working really well in a cocktail. I can see it working really well to just sip on its own. That is good. But what about the Reposado? How does the Reposado hold up? Does it have similar flavors? Let's find out. On the nose, it certainly smells like the Blanco, but there's this added element of sweetness, which I'm assuming is coming from the barrel notes because it was aged. Nice, clean, great, delicious agave flavor. That spice note from the Blanco is still there, but it's actually elevated with the butterscotchy, almost caramel flavors from the barrel, which just creates an even more enjoyable experience. The mouthfeel is still excellent, and it's a really tasty sipper, and I really, really enjoy Insolito. I really do. And if I had the añejo, it's actually my favorite of the three, so it makes me very bummed that it broke. But definitely in the good category. Good category, very decent and good tequila. Worth your time and money. 818 tequila by the Kendall Jenner, one of the whatever, her name, her. 818 is a tequila that has been haunting and plaguing me for years. I've made a lot of videos about this, and yeah, it is really fascinating. When this brand launched, it was supposed to be this ultra premium high-end brand backed by a Jenner. Let's talk about the bottles, right? These bottles, when they launched, they were like $60, $70, $80, $90. They were not cheap by any means. The branding is very lazy, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's really not much to it. It's just text on a black, on a solid background. It's just, it seems like literal no effort was put into any of this. Kendall Jenner's actually come under some serious fire for this brand. She's been accused of cultural appropriation to so many things, and I covered it in depth in the review video that I did of it, and in the other video I did about problems of celebrity tequilas. But let's taste it. For your enjoyment, I will suffer. So first up, the Blanco. You guys are lucky I like you. Right on the nose, it just smells like ethanol, like you opened, what's the thing where you get rid of fingernail paint? Nail polish remover, that's the word I'm looking for. It smells like that, honestly, with like a sweet nail polish remover. Oh, kind of tastes like nail polish remover too. Oh God, it's overly sweet. It's a Blanco and it's overly sweet. Like, that's, like, what are you doing? The mouthfeel is just, it just feels so thick, but not in a good way. It's just not, it's awful. Awful, awful. No, that's not. Let's try the Reposado. Nope, couldn't do it. Started tasting the cotton candy, fake vanilla, and couldn't do it. I'm not going to talk any more about this. I've talked enough about it. I've given this brand enough conscious thought in my life. I just don't want to. Garbage water. Stay away from it. And as a funny side note, I saw it at the store the other day. It is like 1/3 the price that it was at one point. That goes to show you how well this brand's doing. God, it's so terrible. I need a palate cleanser. I don't even know if water's going to do it. I have some Skittles before I power up on. All right, now let's talk about the brand that is responsible for this entire celebrity tequila craze. Casamigos. Casamigos is a brand that was founded by George Clooney. and was sold for $1 billion to Diageo a couple of years ago. I don't know if you heard me. $1 billion. It's a lot of money. A lot of these other celebrities probably heard that number and were like, oh, I'm sorry, was that billion with a B? Oh, okay. I think I now am in love with tequila, and then produced all of the crap that we talked about today. And I've gone extensively into why Casamigos is a bad brand and why they're responsible for a lot of everything that we're talking about today. I'm gonna taste it because you guys probably want me to see me do it, but I'm not gonna like it. Oh God, I couldn't even swallow it. Yummy! Wow, that is so good. I'm just kidding. No, that's a little too awful. It's fake vanilla. It's overly sweet. It's cotton candy. It's like Kendall Jenner was like, "Ooh, we should make our tequila like a version of Casamigos, but worse." And literal garbage water. Stay away. It's so many people swear by this brand, and it's just the power of marketing. I promise you, there's so many better tequilas out there for half the price. It's not cheap. It's gross. All you're buying is hype. And if that's what you want, then go ahead. Go ahead and buy it. But you're not drinking a good tequila. So don't tell me you're drinking good tequila. Garbage water. For this next one is Santo Fino Tequila by Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri. Yes, the guy from Drive-Ins and Dives. This is the Reposado. It's easy to look at this product and go, wow, what is Guy Fieri doing in the tequila game? And Sammy Hagar, what are both of them doing in the tequila game? And they're emblazoned right there, right on this little insert thing. But let's taste it. I haven't opened this yet, so we're gonna do a live reaction on this one. So one of the first things that I noticed is that their reposado is very light. That's actually a good sign. A lot of reposados are, especially as it comes to like Casamigos, that is very dark. That leads me to believe that that's not exactly natural. So first good sign is that this is quite light. Reposado can be, it's not supposed to be all that much aged. So that's a good thing. On the nose, you get some agave notes. It's good. Some spices, I believe. Let's give this a sip. Wow. Good, clean, strong agave flavor. The barrel notes are present, though not overpowering. It's very lightly aged, so you get a nice little rounding out of the tequila. The mouthfeel is great. I'll be honest, I avoided this tequila for a very long time because I'm like, there's no way that Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri got involved with the tequila and it's like decent, right? Like, there's no way. But here I stand corrected. On top of it actually being a very solid and good tequila, it is confirmed additive-free by Tequila Matchmaker. And as I found out recently, Guy Fieri is very passionate about tequila production. I did not know that, and it's actually really good to see. It's actually a pretty good product. This would work well in a cocktail. It's nice to sip on its own. It's nice to not have an overly sugar-fied and color-altered tequila. Definitely in the good and decent category for celebrity spirits. Solid. And next up we have Villa One, which is owned by Nick Jonas and some other dude. It looks kind of generic. It looks like they didn't really spend all that much time on the branding and the logo design. The name Villa One is funny. I don't know why they picked it, but right off the bat it just sounds like Villa. They picked a more like exotic name, and then One, which is just like an English number. I don't know if it would have been better if they put Uno. I think that might have been 2 on the nose, but like, just the name is just strange. So I should mention, I forgot to mention, this is an añejo of theirs. It cost about 40 to 44 bucks, so not super expensive. Oh, that is, it's harsh. It hurts to drink. It doesn't taste all that much like agave, and you just kind of get this like, oh, excuse me. Ugh. You get this like oversweet, kind of caramelly kind of flavor, but not in a good way. It just tastes like liquid butterscotch, but not in a good sense. Like this is one that I would highly recommend staying very far away from. Just yeah, literal garbage water. It's not enjoyable to sip on at all. I really think the Joe Bros really should just stick to making mediocre music, and I probably offended my wife with that one. So yeah, sorry Nick Jonas, you're a tequila son, man. Next one we're talking about is Dos Primos. This is a brand that was created by Thomas Rhett, the country music artist, and his cousin, hence the name Dos Primos, 2 cousins. feels very like they ran out of ideas. They're just like, you know what? We gotta come up with a tequila brand because that's what everyone's doing. That's what everyone's doing. What do we call it? Well, you and I are cousins. What if we call it Two Cousins? Well, but that's on the nose. What if we did it in Spanish? That way they'll get it. Just maybe I'm too skeptical. Maybe this one might surprise me. Let's dive right into it. This bottle costs about like $42, $45, so not the most expensive tequila on the planet. It says here that it's 100% agave and estate grown. I surprisingly actually don't hate the branding. I think it looks kind of nice. I think it looks a little rustic. I think that, you know, yeah, it's simple that they just have an agave plant on the front, but I think the rest of the choices look pretty decent for a bottle. It kind of stands out a little bit on a shelf. I feel like if you didn't know it was Thomas Rhett's, you might think that it was just a random brand, which is a good thing. It's not supposed to stand out in that sense, right? Not like Villa One, which just looks weird on every level. But okay, Louis, that's cool. What about what's in the bottle? Well, let's give it a sip. So this is a reposado that they have, not the darkest, which is okay. Okay. Right off the bat, you do get some of that agave, but it's almost kind of smells sour in a way. I don't know how to describe that. It's like this kind of thing, like make my mouth kind of pucker. Oh no. It doesn't taste natural. It doesn't taste very enjoyable. It's got that agave flavor, but it's got the same kind of smell that it had. It was like sour and astringent. Like that's kind of what I'm tasting as well in it. The barrel notes are there, but they don't really taste very complex. They taste very one note, as if it was just, I don't know, just like light barrel notes. It doesn't do much to squash that kind of not great, lacking agave flavor in it. Oh man, no, certainly not. That's not enjoyable at all. Like, I guess it's not the literal worst thing I've ever tried, but it's like, it's probably about as bad as other entry level tequilas that you might find. I'm not suggesting you go and buy this, but I'm gonna put it in the definitely meh category because it's just like a hair above like Casamigos, and it's not as bad as Villa One. And I definitely think there's way better things you can buy, but like, we'll just put it in the definitely meh category for this one. I still don't think you should buy it though. And so, after tasting all of these, I can actually say that there are some celebrity tequilas out there that might be worth your time and money. Very few, but they do exist. Now, do I still believe as a whole that you should be drinking and buying and supporting tequilas that have no connection to any celebrities? I do still believe that, because just because they are producing a decent product doesn't mean that there aren't complications with that. But if you want to know why there is such an issue with celebrity tequila at all, I have this other video that you can check out right here next.